Geno Auriemma says Caitlin Clark is not built for the WNBA, says she can't take the physicality. Also, he calls out her delusional fans. But before we get off into today's video, you come across the video, please like, comment, subscribe. Make sure you got your post notifications on so you know every time Simply Ball Dropping drops another hot banger. And if it's your first time coming across the channel, do me a favor. Hit the subscribe button, post your comments, share the video out. Make sure you give the video a thumbs up. I see everybody in the comments section, #salute. And you know what my mantra is. Tell a friend to tell a friend. It might not be for you, but it might be for them. Well, Geno Auriemma, UConn's greatest women's basketball coach, has weighed in on the Caitlin Clark saga. But before we get off into today's podcast is sponsored by SeatGeek. SeatGeek, the official sponsor of Simply Ball Dropping Podcast, the #1 rated ticketing app, over 28 million downloads, 70,000 plus events from concerts to sports. All your tickets across the web, all in one place, rated 1 to 10. Green means good, red means bad, and all your tickets are backed by your buyer's guarantee. And remember, use my promo code SimplyBallDropping at checkout to get $20 off your purchase. And just remember, by using my promo code SimplyBallDropping at checkout, you're getting $20 off your purchase. Also know that you will be supporting the Simply Ball Dropping podcast. Well, let's get right off into it. Well, the women's greatest college coach, Geno Auriemma, from the Connecticut Huskies, women's basketball, has weighed in on Caitlin Clark. And he said some things that is very interesting about Caitlin Clark and her delusional fans and her fan base, setting her up for failure before she came into the WNBA. We know Caitlin Clark, historical run at Iowa and the women's NCAA, all the records that she's broke, all the records that she set, the great three-point shooter, shoots with the best of them. But Geno Auriemma weighs in. He has said some things that raised a lot of eyebrows across a lot of these social media platforms and mainstream media. Now, what he did, he sat down on the Dan Patrick show and he voiced what he thought was going on with Caitlin Clark, saying that Caitlin Clark is not built for the WNBA and the physicality what the game brings on the next level. So what we're going to do, we're going to take a listen to what Geno Auriemma had to say about Caitlin Clark in her early stint now here in the WNBA. Taking a listen to what Geno Auriemma had to say.
If you're a college player and you're a great college player like Caitlin was, the delusional fan base that follows her disrespected the WNBA players by saying she's going to go in that league and tear it apart. These people are so disrespectful and so unknowledgeable and so stupid. So the kid was set up for failure right from the beginning. But nobody's printing. You know, Diana Taurasi was right. This kid's on the wrong team. She's got the wrong skill set to handle the physicality of that league. And she's a rookie. There's a huge target on this kid's back. She's just not built for the physicality of this league.
For the record, I don't think fans...
Now, you heard what Geno Auriemma had to say. Said that the kid was set up for failure. And that came from her delusional fan base that only follows Caitlin Clark. Now, what he was saying is, you remember when I did the show talking about Diana Taurasi on the statements that she said about Caitlin Clark and the adjustments that Caitlin Clark would have to make coming into the WNBA. And a lot of people took Diana Taurasi's comments and the little soundbite of what she said and turned it into some negative press as though she was hating on Caitlin Clark. But in this young WNBA start and what Caitlin Clark has gone through, Diana Taurasi did not tell no lie. Either did Cheryl Swoops when Cheryl Swoops was on Gil's Arena. Sue Bird did not tell no lie. But what Sue Bird did, she clarified it to everybody that they had to re-edit some of the things that she said so it wouldn't be misconstrued, thinking that she was hating on Caitlin Clark. So she made sure that that production was right before they released it, because she wasn't going to have her words mixed up to make it seem that she's pouring salt on Caitlin Clark, which she wasn't. And she got that all fixed before that soundbite was released. So it didn't make it seem like Sue Bird really was hating or targeting Caitlin Clark. Now, also what Geno Auriemma said was she got a target on her back. Well, rightfully so. She does got a target on her back because of what she did at Iowa coming into the WNBA. And this is the things that Angel Reese was standing up for all the WNBA veterans. Like, they're not gonna be disrespected because of one person. And when they voice their opinions about a certain person in Caitlin Clark, that it seems like they're hating on Caitlin Clark in the word jealousy. Like Carrie Champion said about Stephen A using that word jealousy, she has a fine line and a thin line on that word jealousy, that everybody is jealous of Caitlin Clark. This is the narrative that the media has spewed out there. So what Geno was saying is she was set up for failure because of her fan base. Now, a lot of people that follow Caitlin Clark, they follow Caitlin Clark, but do they really pay attention to the WNBA and what the WNBA has grown and done over the years? I don't think so. And I think that's what Geno Auriemma was trying to say. Also, he said that the way she's built, her structure, she's not built for the physicality. But like I've always stated, don't get me wrong, Caitlin Clark, she does a lot of woofing too. She does a lot of, back talking and a lot of gibber jawing at opponents. She's physical. Now, we've seen at Iowa some of the dirty plays that she's had, but don't nobody want to put that under the microscope and magnify that and say it's a bad thing because it's quote unquote Caitlin Clark that we're talking about. The person that's supposed to be the great white hype to save the WNBA. Now, there's other storylines, like I've said. Look what Asia Wilson is doing. Look what Skylar Diggins is doing for the Seattle Storm. Look what Asia Wilson has done recently when she had the 35, 12, and 6, the first WNBA player to get them historic numbers. Caitlin Clark bounced back tonight by dropping 30 again on 7 3-pointers. She broke out of her little slump. But look what Angel Reese did the night before, 16 and 13. Still leading the WNBA in all players and offensive rebounds at 7 a game. So there's other storylines besides Caitlin Clark. But Geno Auriemma just wanted to put some light on the situation about, hey, this is a physical game and her structure is not built for it. That's what Geno Auriemma is saying. And he's the greatest women's college coach that we've seen. So it's got to be some validity in what he's saying. A lot of people are going to say, well, Geno's hating. How can Geno be hating? He's been coaching these women. He knows talent. He knows what he sees. But he's basically saying that their fan base, her fan base, set her up for failure by disrespecting the WNBA and these WNBA veterans. So Geno Auriemma had a point. Regardless if you don't like it, regardless if you do like it, but we all love it. So you guys let me know what y'all think down in the comment section. And this is going to wrap up another episode of the Simply Ball Drop Podcast. I'm your host and the man behind the mic, K-Sap. We're going to catch you on the next one. Deuces. And remember, before you leave out the door, put your shoes on, and give this video a thumbs up.
Thanks for listening to the Simply Ball Droppin' podcast. Be sure to subscribe, like, and share on all major platforms.